Today I'm going to show you guys how to put together two different pictures, this flower and this fern. And you're going to do what's called a composite photo of both of them. I've got a lesson written down right here in case you want to read it, but we're just going to follow along the steps on this video. So the first thing you need to do is save your picture of the flower. Make sure you put it to your folder with your ID number on it, and then save your picture of the fern. Same thing, folder with your ID number on it. Mine has my name, yours has your number. Once you get into Photoshop, you're going to go ahead and say File Open. Sorry, let me do File Open. I hit Control O on my keyboard sometimes. And you're going to go back to that folder and get the flower. And if you want to get the flower and the fern at the same time, you can actually hold down Shift and select them both. That'll open them up in tabs. I've got a tab with the flower and a tab with the fern. They're both open. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the flower, and I'm going to use my magnetic lasso tool to do it. So if I click and hold down on my lasso, the third tool out from that is the magnetic lasso. And let me make this fit on my screen correctly. Control 0 is my shortcut for that. With the magnetic lasso, you're going to want to go around the edges of the flower. And it's not going to be a perfect selection. In fact, I'm deliberately going to make some mistakes so I can show you how to fix them. Like, that's a mistake. And this is a mistake. So you'll probably make a mistake or two. I thought I'd make a couple just to prove to you that we can fix them. That's the selection I made with my magnetic lasso tool. And the thing I'm going to show you, and I'm going to have to pull my toolbar in so you can see it better because mine's kind of fallen off the side of the screen here. But this is my toolbar. And at the very bottom, I need to see the bottom, there is this little rectangle with a circle in it. That says Edit in Quick Mask Mode. If you can't see it, there's this little two arrows that make your toolbar either one column or two. I couldn't see mine because it was way down at the bottom. There it is. So I made my toolbar two columns. It's just a nice trick to be able to do. So my two-column toolbar now has a Quick Mask button. When I click that, it pulls it out of standard mode and puts it into Quick Mask mode, and I can see that right up here. It says Quick Mask. The Quick Mask is where I can alter what I have selected, and I can do that with my brush tool. This is the brush tool, and if your toolbar is only in one column, it's right here. The brush tool is going to be something where I can edit this Quick Mask using black and white paint, just black and white. So if I click this little tiny icon right here, it sets it to the default. Black is the paint color right now. If I hit this little arrow, now white is the paint color. It's flipping it back and forth, super easy. With my brush size set, I'm going to, first of all, I want to show you what the size and the hardness mean, actually. So let me just get you another screen and show you what I'm talking about. If my brush size is 37 and the hardness is 100, and I've got purple right here, it looks like that. If my brush is set to, let's see, 143, I put the hardness down to 0, it looks like that. So you immediately understand size and hardness. Hardness is how fuzzy the edge of the brush is. In order to do the lesson we're doing, I'm going to want a hard-edged brush. So I'm going to pull the hardness way up, and I pull the size down to about, I found that 9 or 10 works really well. With the black paint, I'm going to add to the red. So with my black paint selected, that's black, that's the brush, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to use my Alt key and scroll up. That's just a neat trick. And I click here, and I'm adding to the red. When I click and add to the red, let me show you what happens when I take it back out of Quick Mask mode. It changes. So when I add to the red, it changes my selection. Now, if I make a mistake and I need to get rid of that red right there, I'm going to flip this little arrow here and switch it to white. It's going to take away the selection. So what I want you guys to do is spend a little time going around using black and white paint. Like right here, I desperately need some white paint, right? Because I lost a petal of my flower. Go around with your black and white paint. See what happens when I take it out of Quick Mask? Go around with your black and white paint and refine your selection. Make it perfect. You can change the brush size if you want. I would continue the hardness to be at 100 though, because I don't want any fuzzy edges. I want hard edges. So I'm going to pause while I finish this, and then I'm going to come back to my video when it's entirely edited, because I don't want you to have to watch me go through all the little edges and sides here. When I got this done, I'll show you the next step. Okay, I put you guys on pause for just a minute so I can go around and finish this off. And I'm doing things like I'm switching from black paint to white paint. This needs some white paint right here, and I went too far, so I switched to black paint and I put it back, and okay. So that's what I was doing just now. I put you guys on pause because I didn't feel like you needed to watch the whole process. But once you've got the quick mask all taken care of, what you want to do, still not happy with that, what you want to do is take it out of quick mask. It's very important that you take it out of quick mask because the next step requires it to be just the selection and not the mask. What you're going to do is take your move tool and you're going to pick this up and you're going to drag it to this spot up here where it says Fern, that tab. And when I did that, it just flipped screens on me. And before I let go of my mouse button, I need to pull it down and let go. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time. I paused it. What's up? All right. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm just going to undo that step so you can see exactly what I did a second time. I took this flower, and it's all selected, and I made sure it was out of quick mask. I dragged it up to the word Fern. I didn't let go of the mouse button yet. I still got the mouse button clicked. I pull down, and I let go right here. That's how you do it. Now let me show you the mistake that half the people who do this make. They leave it in quick mask mode, and then they drag, and then weird stuff happens. If you did that, just go back a step or undo, and then take it out of quick mask and try again. Now the last thing I wanted you to try out in this lesson was some settings that you could put on this. So if you will go to Layer, Layer Style, Layer Style, and tell it about a drop shadow right here. There's other places to get this, and I'll show you how to get drop shadows and other things, but right here, Layer Style Drop Shadow is perfectly valid for our first time out of the gate. What we're doing is we're putting a shadow on layer 1, right? And I'm going to pull this box off to the side so I can see what it's doing to my picture. You can see right now it puts a little shadow behind this flower. You are free to change these settings if you want. Make the shadow darker or lighter. The recommendation on this lesson is, well, 39% opacity, which seems oddly specific, but I'm going to put it to the recommended level. The angle they've got on this lesson is 20. You see that? You see when you move the distance, oh sorry, the angle is 20. 20. You can do that by spinning this little dial around. It doesn't necessarily matter what your angle is, whatever makes you a happy person. The distance they have on this is 21. See the difference with the distance? If it goes too far, you can't see it anymore. That's how the shadow looks. 21 is the distance in the lesson, the way it's written. 21 is the spread also. So this is how it spreads out. It looks faded or sort of diffused out or not. 21 is what they had in the lesson, so I'll just pull it to that if I can. Close enough. And the size said 65. So right now my size is 4. That's 250. That's 0. So 65 is what it said in the lesson. And it looks like a nice little, you know what, I'm just going to type the number in. I can't get there today. Oops. Sorry, Layer Style Drop Shadow. I accidentally closed the box. If you do that, just pull it up. And that's it. That is what I had for my settings. Close enough. Click OK, and you can see that drop shadow. If you want to see it without the drop shadow, you can just click on that eyeball, before or after, before or after. Once you have that, if you wish, you may go to Layer and tell it to flatten image. One of my favorite shortcuts is to merge visible. That just means all the layers that are currently visible right here will merge down together. If you wanted to do that, you surely could. That was Layer Merge Visible, the same as Control, Shift, and the letter E. So if you want to do that, that's the same trick. Once you have it like this, let me know. I would love to see it. And I'd love to make sure that I've got it just right. I'd like to see your history panel too. If you got that, let me know. That's another good project grade for you. Thanks.